Five, four, three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean Greenberg of Greenberg Financial Group. I should say CEO of Greenberg Financial Group. And this is new, right?
We've had a few changes, yes.
A few changes.
Good changes, positive changes, growth changes.
Change is inevitable. Let's hear about it. What's going on?
Well, first of all, good morning.
Good morning. I know I jump right in. I have the tendency to do that.
You know, each week we get to see each other. It's great. It's fun. You know, it's just time. I mean, I've been looking at this for a while and how to get the right team into place. One of the things we've done at Greenberg Financial Group is always look to the future and how it's going to be. I'm not retiring. I don't ever want to retire, but to be able to be in a position to keep growing your company, you also have to understand that others have to be there to keep going as we get older. So you kind of shift some things around and do some things when you get the experience and the right people. And about 5 years ago, I started trying to assemble the right team, which I believe I finally do right now. It's one of the things I've done very well in my life in coaching is put the right players in. And so now we got the right players, and so now I gave out some movement. So what has happened going forward now is Dylan Greenberg, who obviously is my son, who's been with us quite a long time now. I moved him to president of the company. He also went to get his CFP. So he understands the business. He understands how to manage money. He understands all that. We're still doing the tutoring, and being part of it is great. Todd, whom I've known for 10 years and has been working for us for quite a long time now, he does a lot of detailed stuff as a financial advisor and things, but he's also become our vice president and our COO. So he's running all the organizations. And most people that remember Sue Maxwell, who's been with us for going on 28 years, is kind of, I want to say retiring, but it's kind of like semi-retiring. She's going to be working from home for about 6 months until she fully retires and be able to help there. So it's great. And we have some other people that support roles for us that are fantastic. And, you know, we've just seen a lot of growth in our company over the last couple of years. So they've deserved it. I
think it's so interesting. I love your team perspective, and a lot of that is family, but you're just, everything about you just says coach, right? So coaching, these were kids when they started with you, and they're now, I mean, they are so proficient in this kind of financial language that a lot of people their age can't speak.
Well, we all have different styles when we grow our companies. You know, obviously at the beginning, you got to oversee everything and do stuff. But I'm also about prove to me what you can do, all right? I'm going to throw you in the fire. You're going to get a little burnt, but you're not going to get crispy, all right? And that's what we've done with the radio show and the TV shows that we do is I've made them part of it. Because I do believe if you're there, it's almost like a kid. Let them fall, pick them up, let them get a little hurt, but don't get them very hurt. And that way they start learning and they can get used to it. And it's the same thing in our business. But they had to prove themselves. They had to prove that they're able to be worthy of showing up on time, doing the work, staying after, being able to do the workshops, meeting with people, understanding what we're doing, understanding how to invest. And the biggest thing, you know, I say to people is they really learned at a young age how to talk to people that are 60 and 70 years old, put plans together for people that are older, not your age. When people come in your age, that's easy, but learn it, and they did a great job with that. And we've seen our business more than double, almost triple in the last 3 to 4 years.
And what do you attribute that to?
Hard work, knowledge, putting the right team into place, where you're not fighting with things, always working in the same direction. I find if everyone's rowing the boat in the same direction, the boat goes a hell of a lot faster than if people are trying to go against the stream.
Well, when you started this whole thing and you kind of stumbled into it, right? I mean, you, from a young age, you where it was just you. And so isn't it nice to now have this support where everybody they work together in a collaboration, but sort of seems like each one of you have such a different and unique skill set that complement one another.
What's really cool is that they understand my flight. They understand my journey of when I came out here in 1988 with nothing, when I, basically got fired after doing everything right after the crash, and didn't have any money. And I came here and I basically said, this is where I got to start. I'm not moving anymore. I'm tired of moving. I was like 30, 31 years old, and try to build it up. And, I don't know if I would do it now the way I did it then, because it seemed a little easier then. Now with FINRA and SEC and all the money you need, your husband's in the business and thought about going on his own, maybe not going on his own. It's so much to do. But when you really start your business, this is the funny thing. So many people said, I'm in business for myself. Well, someone just gave you $1 million to go do to be in business for yourself. You already had a book of business that you have built up. You're not registered. Your firm isn't registered with it. Your firm is someone else's firm that you're registered under.
Right.
When you do it on your own and you start from scratch, it's a totally different ballgame. Because now, guess what? You're signing the checks.
Well,
you're the one that has to put the money in for that.
It's all the risk and it's all the reward, and
Right.
that's being an entrepreneur.
And what I've seen over time is that a lot of people don't appreciate the risk and the time that you put in for the 10, 15, 20 years beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And the team that I have now, they get it. They understand it. Maybe because they look at it and they see, hey, I've got an opportunity. I'm taking care of them. I'm bringing them along, but then they see the long-term opportunity for themselves down the road. And that's where, this is all from the business standpoint, but they wouldn't be there if they didn't do a couple things that are very important, which is treat the client first. The client always comes first. We're all fiduciaries. We've always been fiduciaries, even before they told us we have to be fiduciaries. Take care of the client. That doesn't mean you don't have times that some clients get upset with you, and it always happens when the markets go down. They try to blame you, this or that. But if you explain everything and you allocate correctly and you get to know the client and what they want, which is part of the whole planning process, then that's fantastic. And that's what I'm trying to teach the guys is, hey, you got a 20, 30, 40 year ahead of you, but look where you're going to be later on, okay? Okay, you're not going to do everything the exact same way, but as I go through the learning, I always feel like I'm a pioneer going through stuff. I always learn a little bit differently as I've gotten older, the different places I've been, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, and now in my 60s, where life is about, business is about what you do. And the biggest thing I've known, if you don't give back, if you don't find something out of the thing you're doing everything in the day, if you don't give back, you're not really truly satisfied.
Well, you mentioned planning a couple times, and so we do need to take a quick commercial break. I just wanted to let everyone know that this plan that we're talking about is something that we are giving as a gift to the viewers to get your financial plan and see whether you're on the right track to where you need to be to retire comfortably and enjoy those golden years. So we're going to talk a lot more about that after the commercial break, but that phone number is 520-544-4909. Stay with us, and we'll talk more about Your Money Matters when we come back.
This is Money Matters with Dean Greenberg of the Greenberg Financial Group. I'm Spike Spangle. Dean, what really got you started in this industry?
It was because I was working for Ford Motor Company. I had ordered all the dealerships, and I kind of looked at things and I said, this is not what I want. So I went back and got my MBA in finance and investments and said, I'm going to work on Wall Street. I didn't really know the journey I was going to have until later on, 1987, when the market crashed.
Yeah. Black Monday.
Black Monday. The only person in a company of 600 and some odd brokers. I was buying IBM, and I opened a $500,000 account. So they say to me, hey, this is unbelievable. How did you do this? What did you do? I just said, because I thought it was the right thing to do. Down 20%, it was probably a good time to buy, and I was more of a technician and an advisor and an educator at that time. Long story short, they tell me a week later, I never owned the stock. The back offices back then could not handle 1 billion shares a day. So a week and a half later, they tell me I don't own it, and I needed to call a client to tell them they didn't own the stock. And I told them that they should pay the client. Next day I came in, my box of stuff was in there, and they told me I was fired. And I went to go see the guy I knew to go get a job. And he said, Dean, I'd hire you tomorrow, but you need to start your own business. I laughed at him and said, how am I going to start my own business? I only have $5,000. He said, figure it out. We're all salesmen. You educate. You care about the markets. You care about your clients. So I guess I figured it out.
Hello and welcome back to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean Greenberg, CEO of Greenberg Financial Group. And Dean, we were talking before the break about all the different roles in your firm. And one of the things I think is so neat is the way you approach everything from a team perspective. I have noticed that your coaching also lends itself to sort of just educating people. And that is something I think is so unique because this financial language is not something that we learn in our traditional education. I mean, my daughter's in high school. I see my kids coming up. Her economics class, I feel like they're finally just catching up, realizing there's this big gap and trying to teach the kids in a way that they can apply to their own lives. It's so important.
In a way, a lot of them still are teaching book stuff. Okay, they're not teaching real financial literacy of what people need to do. You know, especially like with economics and stuff, you know, the money supply and this and that. And, you know, it's like, are kids really picking that up? No, to them, it's almost like math. All right, but if you showed them how to use a checkbook, if you showed them how to do a balance, you know, how to budget, if you showed them just basic things of living, I think they would understand that more. If you showed them about investing and why over time it takes so long, something would stick with them, you know. But going back to the team thing, you know, we were going through the stuff. Do you know the difference between the CEO and the president?
You're going to tell me, so.
Well, I didn't know that because that's how we started to get the names. Like, so the CEO, which is what I moved to, is basically a more bigger picture guy. He kind of comes up with the strategies and stuff. And the president and the COO are the ones that implement it. So it fits in perfectly with what we're doing as a team at Greenberg Financial Group right now.
But you've always kind of been, that's your strength, right? Is you're
Right.
the big picture guy. You just see it.
Yeah, I don't like doing like paperwork. I'm so happy I don't have to do the new paperwork anymore. Oh my gosh, it's like buying a house. You know, it's like you get 150 pages of stuff to sign, and legally you're supposed to read it all. No one ever does.
I was shocked at the amount of detail in just college and high school applications, the things that they're asking. I mean, you kind of feel like they're taking your firstborn child, but it has gotten so in our lives, everything has become so litigious and so complicated.
So you're filling out college applications. Who's filling them out, you or your daughter?
It's a really good question. Actually, I'm very proud. My daughter did majority of the work, but when it comes to the financial stuff, then
Right, well, then you have to do
Yeah.
that. Because a lot of parents do all the work for their kids. And I'm like, those applications should be filled out by the kids. They have to learn how to do that. Because once they go to college,
Yep.
they're going to have to know how to do things on their own.
I feel like our generation, we were just left out. You know, you're just go fly. We didn't have the resources they have. We don't have the cell phones and this and that. It's like, get off the plane and figure out where you're going. You don't have MapQuest and whatever, navigation.
Does your daughter know how to do her own laundry?
We're getting there.
That's what I'm saying. Cooking. I remember going to school, doing laundry. I mean, I literally went to the laundromat and didn't know what to do at first, but you learn.
And that's the thing is, I think in life, if we can just try to, you know, look at the things you wish you knew, if we can impart those on our kids, you know, a little bit earlier. I know that people who are coming to you typically are closer to their retirement age, but isn't it so important to have financial literacy from the get-go and to be planning all along? Wouldn't you have felt better if you could have talked to yourself 10, 20 years ago and said, ooh, we should have done it this way? It's never too early to start.
No, it's different today too, because you don't really use a checkbook. You got Venmo, you got Zelle, you got Apple Pay, you got all these other things which we have to learn.
Yeah.
They know how to use it so easily, but they don't know how to balance it.
But
They
you
don't
know what I
how to
noticed?
Look at it.
How much easier is it to just click buy now on Amazon, right? Than it is to hand cash. If you had a stack of cash and you had to physically count it out like we did and hand it, you would not, that $20 would feel a lot more potent than click buy now, because it just seems too easy.
We talking about a personal situation here?
I've heard from other
Listen,
people.
There's not a person I talk to that doesn't see the Amazon person more than they'd see anybody else. I cannot believe how many people order so easily of Amazon products coming. Now, I get it. Hey, we don't have to go out and get it. We can just get all the essentials and they're cheaper. The problem is, it's just like going to McDonald's for a hamburger. Next thing you know, you got the Coke and you got the fries.
But this is, I think, an important financial lesson, too, because my kids will say, oh, we want a DoorDash or Uber Eats something. First of all, I don't even have one of those apps on my phone. I'm like, if you're that lazy and you can't get up to go get yourself food, you just don't even deserve it. Like, make yourself something. But the conversations we have, and I'm like, look at all the fees they're charging you. Transaction fees and driver fees and tips and everything. So what could have been a $7 or $8 meal turns into maybe a $12 or $13 meal. You're almost doubling. Same thing with fees on top of delivering Costco and things like that. You're going to Costco to save money because you're buying in bulk, but then you're hurting yourself with these fees. So it's the ease of convenience, and it's hurting us financially and physically too, because you're not having to get up and go do.
Yeah, but sometimes it's easy and it's nice.
But I think teaching, this is something that Dylan and Todd are going to have to teach. The next generation's going to have to learn. All of these fees and all these hidden things, they add up.
100%.
And it can be pretty significant over a lifetime.
You can't go get 2 sandwiches now that are on $30, $40, $50.
100%.
By the time you're done with all and the other thing is, too, I thought you earn a tip.
Everything has a tip now.
Now when you go to the front, they don't even give you a choice. You want 15, 20, or 25%?
Even when I get a coffee, I'm like, I'm paying you to make this coffee for me. You stood there and made it, and I have to give you...
And you're getting paid $20 to do it.
And it's $7 or $8 for the coffee that would cost me...
That's why the price of everything has gone up.
Well, inflation is what, 3% now? Where are we at?
A little less, 2.7, yeah.
This is, my generation is terrified because we don't know. I mean, we're living longer. I mean, I have a family member who is 89 and she's an absolute rock star, and I don't see her leaving us anytime soon. Another that's 83. I hope that they have. And if they have that longevity, where is my generation going?
And that wraps this whole thing up into planning. People are not planning enough. I've always say these numbers, okay? 70% plus believe they should have some type of plan for the future.
But do they?
Less than 30% actually do it. Now, more and more people are doing it. I even talk people into it now. They call up, I don't know. I said, listen, I get it. I understand the way it used to be, but you need to do this financial plan. It will relieve your stress of where you're going and what you're doing. But then it will also open up some ideas for you of what you want to do with your money. Because a lot of people have a lot of money, they don't know what to do with it, and it just becomes more of a problem for them.
What do you think is holding them back from making the plan? It's just fear?
The knowledge that they think that they know it themselves. The fear of realizing they don't know it. Trusting somebody else is a big one, okay? And not wanting to be sold products. I get all that, okay? And the attitude from my point is help them understand what they have. Always educate. Educate, educate, educate. That's what's missing. But educate on a level that everyone can understand what you're saying. Don't talk about people. Don't use words that they don't understand. Show them what they have. Deal with their situation, not other people's situation. When you're done with that, and they have to implement something, 90% of the time they're going to implement with the person that they're hearing stuff and trusting from. That's why, from our point of view, we like to do a plan, because then when they become a client of ours, we've built a relationship. You know, and it's funny because in today's day and age that people like shame on people that are successful. You know, it's not a great thing to be successful. You should be giving your money away. You should be doing this. It just so happens this business, we're actually helping people. The end result is if you do a great job, you can make a lot of money for yourself and the people you work with, while you're making good money for the people that are your clients. It's just what happens. People need people like us to help them. When you realize we're actually helping people retire without stress, helping people build their lifestyle, which is something I want to get into you. It's not about planning for retirement. It's planning for your lifestyle.
I'm going to cut you off because we have to take a quick commercial break. But this is something you guys want to stay in for. We're going to talk really about the importance and why we need that plan and what it's going to get you. This plan is something we're offering to you, the viewers, for taking the time to chat with us and sit with us and learn, hopefully get educated. That phone number is 520-544-4909. And you know you want to stay for this because you never know what Dean's going to say. So we'll talk more about your money matters when we get back.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Hello and welcome back to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean Greenberg, CEO of Greenberg Financial Group. And Dean, we're talking about the importance of a financial plan, which I don't think a lot of people even understand what that encompasses. They're like, oh yeah, here's my statements and I kind of know what I want to do, but that's not what we're talking about.
A financial plan takes in your whole life, okay? You can't just go ahead and give somebody numbers and then come up with a financial plan. When we sit down with people, we get to know them. We have to ask questions,
Personal
questions that have to stay with us, and you got to build from there, okay? I mean, you got to talk to the man and the wife. You don't know who's in charge, who's doing the financial stuff. You got to figure out where that's going to, who's going to make the decision,
but important
what
that they're
it's
both
for,
there.
how old they are, from the differences, how their health is, okay? The kids, the relationship with their kids. Because it's not just what you're doing for you, it's your estate plan. It's your accounting work, it's all that stuff. That's why under one roof, we have a family office. We do all that for people. From helping them with their estate, helping them with their accounting, helping them with their financial plan, and then we take it to the next level and we make them money. We do the money management part and manage their money for them.
So maybe that's part of, we were talking about the big impediment here is the fear, right? Getting over that fear of sharing that personal information. Maybe they're afraid you're going to turn around and say, oh, you don't have enough money or you're not on the right path. But wouldn't it be better to start that earlier?
When they don't have enough money, we don't just smack them in the head and say, oh, you don't have enough money. We show them where they're overspending. We showed them that if they're very healthy and everything's working in the right direction, they're going to live to this much point. We show them how much less money they're going to have by doing that. Now, that's okay sometimes because people have a $800,000 or $1.5 million home fully paid for, and that is the next step after they're maybe 85 years old. We say you might have to sell that house if you stay on this route to be able to take you into 95, 100 years old. And they go, I don't know if we're going to live that long. That's why we're going to do this. I respect that, okay? But once it runs out, you're going to have plan B. Mm-hmm. So we always try to stay within that in doing it. Most people don't. They want to cut back as much as possible. It's hard for them to cut back if they're spending it and enjoying it. But if they're in their 50s and they're doing it, we're pretty much like, if you don't do this, you're going to have some problems, all right? And we try to come up with some solutions for them to get to where they need to go. And it's funny, then all of a sudden, well, I am going to inherit this money from this person. I am going to do this. They're planning on that. That's not a good retirement plan, all right? One of the biggest things we do, I think that is different. I'm not talking to people about what's your plan for retirement. I want to get to know you. What is your lifestyle? You got to plan for someone's lifestyle, not just for the retirement. And I think retirement scares people. A lot of people that work for big corporations go, I can't wait to retire. Then 2-3 years later, they're no longer with us, right? They didn't realize getting up and going to work, as much as they hated it, was not what they liked. It's not, even though they didn't like it, that's what kept them going.
Yeah.
You need to have a lifestyle when you leave. That's why these communities over 50s have propped up so great. They get out, they're active, they do things from pickleball to tennis to...
Over 50? Is that the age?
The 50 plus, isn't that what it is? You're getting there.
Gosh.
Yeah. But you know what?
I have a 10-year-old, so I'm young forever.
The good news is the 70 is the new 50 now.
I saw a picture of B. Arthur from Golden Girls next to Sofia Vergara, you know, that gorgeous.
Right.
And B. Arthur was like 3 years younger than Sofia Vergara is now.
Right.
And I thought, okay, my generation's got this figured out.
Right.
We're not going to ever look our age.
Well, with AI, and I'm going to tell you, and all the medical advances, we're living longer. We're living healthier. And the things that we're starting to learn about,
That
the
seems
food
to be a
that
fear.
we eat.
But that's a fear. A longevity
Yeah.
is a fear for people. But what if
Right.
I outlive my money?
Well, that's why you plan.
100%.
And you got to plan for your. I got to know what your lifestyle is. Is your lifestyle going just buying materialistic things and loving them and doing that, and that makes you happy? Well, it's going to take you this much money. If your lifestyle is living a very nice, simple life, making sure you have things to do with your grandchildren and stuff, that's easy to do too. What is your lifestyle? Do you want to travel? Do you not want to travel? Do you like to bike or do you want to hike? Do you want to run? Do you want to do things? Everything has a cost to it. You know, if you're running, you got to pay for shoes. If you're biking, you got to buy a nice bike. You know, if you're traveling in an RV, you got to buy an RV. You know, there's a lot of things that go into your lifestyle, and that's why. And we're going to talk about it later. I wrote a book about the end game that shows you
I have it.
and talks to you more about the therapy, the psychology of getting to the point you want to be in your life, not that you're retiring.
Well, we're running out of time. I really do want to talk on the next episode about the book and how it plays into your role in educating people, because this is something that we really don't learn in school, and it's so important from any age. But as you especially get in the 50 plus, and you're thinking about retirement, or you're in that retirement red zone, we really need to be planning differently, and there's a different mindset we need to get into.
100%.
And this is something that other advisors, charge thousands of dollars for. This is something that we're giving to you for sitting there and listening to us jabber on. We really hope that you're learning as you're sitting here. And if you have questions, you can call in with those. You're going to get somebody on the phone. One of your fabulous team members are going to answer the phone and get you guys started on the road to retirement. We hope you'll visit us on the next show. We'll see you soon.